Hello and welcome back, my dear students, once again to your YouTube channel. In today's video, I shall be discussing the next scene of your Macbeth, that is Act 2, Scene 3. Act 2, Scene 3 is famously known as the Porter scene, and this is one of the most important scenes in the entire play. You could expect a sure short 10 mark question on this particular scene. But before I begin, yes, let me remind you that if you have been finding my videos helpful and interesting, kindly do not forget to give me a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, it shall keep me motivated, and also it will not allow you to miss out on any videos that I upload on your ICC and ISC syllabus. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get started. Act 2, Scene 3, as I said, is the famous Porter scene of Macbeth. Now, you must realize this in Act 2, Scene 2, we have seen a murder that has been committed. King Duncan has been murdered. And there is a particular term for this. It is known as regicide. Regicide. Please use these terms while writing your own answers. All right. So we see a murder has been committed, and the audience, even though they have not witnessed the murder directly on stage, they have understood. So it is a very heavy concept that has been drilled into them. So Shakespeare wanted, to place a scene immediately after such a heavy dramatic scene with a scene that is light in nature. Okay. And the Porter scene, Act 2, Scene 3, serves that purpose. All right. That is number one. Number two, why is the Porter scene so important? Because the characters who play Macbeth and other associated, characters on stage, they need some time to change clothes so that, the next scene that they perform, they can do it with ease. So, to provide them with that particular space and time, the Porter scene is necessary so that these people could go backstage and change their clothes. That is the second point. And third thing is, you must realize that Shakespeare, when he was writing his dramas, he was nowhere interested, or rather, he was not aware of the fact that his dramas would be taught in the classrooms one day. He was writing his plays so that they become commercial success and he could get his bread and butter. Okay. So, the people or the audience who would go to watch his plays were predominantly lower class people. Alright. And not all of them were intellectually very conscious. So, he needed to cater to those people who belong to the lower strata of society so that, his plays become a commercial success. As a result of which, in this particular scene, he had introduced a few dialogues which would ring a bell with this kind of audience, with the lower strata of society. Okay, as a result of which the play would become a commercial success. So, when you come across some unparliamentary words in this particular scene or unparliamentary language in this scene, you have to realize that Shakespeare is trying to grab the attention of those people who belong to the lower strata of society so that his plays become a commercial success. So, these are the 3 points that you need to keep in mind before reading your Porter scene. First, that the scene serves as a comic relief. After a heavy murder scene, the Porter scene tends to bring a sense of relief to the audience. Secondly, the scene is necessary because It provides enough time for the characters on stage to go and change clothes. Thirdly, Shakespeare wanted his plays to become commercial success. That is why unparliamentary language was used in this particular scene so that his plays become a success. All right. Keeping these 3 points in mind, you might be getting a question, what is the need for such a comic relief scene? Then these are your 3 points that you need to talk about. All right. So, keeping these points in mind, we will start reading Act 2, Scene 3 of your Macbeth. And I've been using this particular edition. It is called the Oxford School Shakespeare. And I am on Act 2, Scene 3. Scene 3 takes place in Macbeth's castle. Enter a porter. Now, the scene is taking place in Macbeth's castle and enters a porter. Who is a porter? Porter is a gatekeeper. All right, a janitor. And there is a knocking within. Now, we have to remember one thing, the porter is drunk, he is high on alcohol. Why is that so? Because last night in Macbeth's castle there has been a party. What is that party for? That Duncan has come in, and that is why Macbeth has been extremely happy. So, in Duncan's honor, he has thrown the party. So, all of them had been drinking, and the porter has drunk a lot. He is filled up to his brim. So, he is speaking in mad rumbling, drunken talk. So, the porter is doing that. Let's see what he says. Here is a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock, knock. So he says, oh my God, there is so much of knocking on the door. Remember, when the previous scene was ending, Act 2, Scene 3, there was this knocking at the gate. And Macbeth was trying to say, wake up, Duncan, if you could wake up. So this knocking continues. And the drunken porter is saying, here is a knocking. If a man were porter of Hellgate, if a man, the porter considers himself or compares himself to the gatekeeper of hell. Okay, now this is something you need to pay attention, my dear students, here. This is a pretty heavy concept. Hell is not a geographical place. Hell is a state of mind. If you have done your strange meeting, you will realize that hell is not a geographical place, but it is a state of mind. You could be sitting in your cozy bedroom, but you could be, psychologically sitting in hell. The point being, he is saying that if a man were a porter of Hellgate, if anyone had been the gatekeeper of hell, he should have old turning the key. He should have become much old turning the key. He would have become old by opening the gate. In other words, so many people are coming in hell that a young porter, when he would be entrusted with the job of opening the gate of hell, by the time the last person enters, he would have become old. All right. And interestingly enough, you will realize he's saying he's the porter of Hellgate. Macbeth's castle indeed has become a hell. Not geographically again, but again metaphorically, psychologically. Why? Because it is at this place where the king has been murdered, where a regicide has been performed. And in 16th century England, the king was looked upon as the truest representative of God on earth. And it is this representative of God who has been murdered. So, a crime has been committed, a sin has been committed in a geographical place which has become a hell. So, hell is a state of mind. Okay. Knock, knock, knock. Who is there in the name of Beelzebub? And he's so drunk, he's saying, who is it who's come in? And he's calling on the Satan. He's calling on the satanic spirit Beelzebub. Beelzebub is another name for the devil. So, who comes in? This is all his imagination, okay? He imagines here is a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins enough about here. Here you will sweat for it. Knock, knock. So he imagines there's a farmer who has come in. First, he imagines there's a farmer who has come in. And why is this farmer come in here? Because he had committed suicide by hanging. You know, committing suicide is a crime. You are not entitled to take away a person's life, even though if it is your own life. So, because he has committed this crime, he's been sent to hell. That is what he is imagining. Okay. And why has he committed suicide? Because he was in the expectation of plenty. He had expected that there would be plenty of crop that year, plenty of harvest. But unfortunately, that year the harvest did not come up to his expectation. So he lost a lot of money, the farmer, and he has to commit suicide. And he's saying, come in, have napkins enough about you. Here you will sweat for it. Because hell is supposed to be a very hot place with fire burning, cauldrons boiling. Okay. So he says, make sure you're carrying napkins enough because you'll be sweating. So you need to wash your, wipe your face. And then there is a knock again. Who's there in the other devil's name? And then he's imagining that there's a second person coming in. Remember, he said so many people are coming in that a person would become old by continuously opening the door. So the second person comes in. Who is there in the other devil's name? Faith. Here is an equivocator who could swear in both the scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator. So the second person who's come in is an equivocator. Now, who is an equivocator? An equivocator is a person who deals in double lies. He will tell something to person X and completely opposite to person Y. So, who deals in double lies, and it will be seen that neither of them are true. Okay. Now, here again, there is a reference. When Macbeth was written, it was the ruling king of England was King James the First. Okay. And a plot was hatched to murder King James I. The name of the plot was Gunpowder Plot. And one of the prime accused in the gunpowder plot was Jesuit Garnet. Jesuit Henry Garnet. The full name of the person was. And this Henry Jesuit Garnet, what he had done is he had lied to the court as well as to the people because he wanted to escape. Unfortunately, when he, went to God, he could not lie to God because God knows everything correctly. And therefore, he had been punished for lying. And he's been sent to hell again. The third person, then what happens is, knock, 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 who's there? Again, another person comes in. So that this is the third person who comes in. Faith here is an English tailor, come hither for stilling out of a French hose. Come in, tailor, here you may roast your goose. So the third person who comes in is an English tailor. Why has he come in now? He has come in because he tried to steal clothes. This English tailor had this habit of making designs which were French in origin. But when he was entrusted to do some work, he had stolen clothes. Okay, and because he had stolen, he's been punished. So he's been again sent to hell. So the third person comes in here. And so come in, tailor, you are here, you may roast your goose. Goose is your iron, the iron with which the tailor irons the cloth. So he's saying it is so hot here, you can warm your iron. So these are the three people comes in. First is the farmer, second is the equivocator, and third is the tailor, English tailor. Now you will realize even though the porter is drunk and he is imagining himself, somewhere down the line, Macbeth is going to become like the farmer who had, expected a lot. He had expected to become a king, and that is why he goes on committing arbitrary crimes. Secondly, he is going to be an equivocator also who will deal in double lies. And thirdly, he is going to be like the English tailor who steals other people's things. And the imagery of robes and cloths are recurrent. Remember, Macbeth had said, "Why do you address me in borrowed robes?" when the witches had come and predicted that he's going to be the Thane of Cawdor. So the imagery of clothing continues. Okay. And here you will realize, my dear children, that even though the porter is drunk, he is speaking deep philosophical truth. He considers himself as the keeper of Hellgate. Macbeth's castle is already a hell. We've seen that. And the three people he imagines who are coming in are also somewhere a replica of Macbeth in the making. Okay. Then suddenly he says, "Knock, knock, knock." Again, there is knocking, continuously knocking, never at quiet. Oh, this place is never going to be quiet. What are you? But this place is too cold. For hell, I'll devil porter it no further. Says, "Oh, this place is too cold. I'm not going to be the gatekeeper of this place anymore. I had thought to have let in some of all professions that go to the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire." He says, "I thought I would let in everyone who comes into the hell." And on and on. "Wait, wait, I'm coming," because the knocking continues. "I pray you remember the porter. I request you remember the porter." Of course, we will have to remember the porter when we would be reading Act 5, because all the words of the porter are going to come back to us. We'll see. And then opens the door, and at this point of time enters Macduff and Lennox. Macduff and Lennox have come in. Why? Because they want to take Duncan back. The Macduff: "Was it so late, friend, where you went to bed that you do lie so late? Did you go back off to sleep very late last night that you were so late in opening the door?" Porter: "Faith, sir, we were carousing. Carousing is parting till the second cock. And drink, sir, is a great provoker of three things." So we were celebrating till late night, till 3 a.m. in the night, we were drinking. And I tell you, drinking provokes three things. What are the three things? Macduff asks, "What three things does drink especially provoke?" "Marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine." So drinking leads to three things. What are the three things? Number one, nose painting. Your nose becomes red. Sleep, you tend to get a lot of sleep. And number three is urine. You get the urge to visit the washroom in number of times. I told you a few unparliamentary language is going to be used in the scene. This is just that. Then he says, "Lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes." What is lechery? Lechery is when you have an extreme sexual urge. So, lechery, sir, it provokes and unprovokes. See the antithesis that is being used. When you drink a lot, you get this urge to perform sexual activities a lot. At the same time, you are unable to do it because you are not in a sober state, you are drunk. It provokes the desire but takes away the performance. Deep inside your heart, you wish to indulge in an act of sexual activity, but you are unable to because you're drunk. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery. Therefore, drink is also like an equivocator which deals in double lies. You wish to do it, but you're unable to do it. It makes him and it mars him, it sets him on and it takes him off. You get the desire, yet you are unable to perform. Persuades him and disheartens him. You get disheartened easily because you are unable to perform the act. Makes him stand to and stand not to. You wish to stand on your feet, but you're so drunk that your legs tremble. In conclusion, equivocates him in a sleep and giving him the lie leaves him. And then what happened? Ultimately, you go off to sleep, and after the sleep, you become sober again. This is what drink does to you. Macduff, I believe drink gave thee the lie last night, and I believe because you have been drunk last night, this is how you're speaking. That it did, sir, the very throat on me. I drank till my throat. But I requited him for his lie, and I think, being too strong for him, though he took up my legs sometime, yet I made a shift to cast him. So I was unable to stand on the ground, but somehow I managed to stand. At this point of time enters Macbeth. Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awakened him. Here he wakes up. So the moment Macbeth enters, without seeing Macduff, asks, has Macbeth gotten up from sleep? And then he sees Macbeth coming in. And he says, oh, yes, yes, our knocking has awakened Macbeth as well. Lennox, good morrow, noble sir. Good morning, both. Is the king stirring, worthy Thane? Is the king awake? So see, Macbeth is still referred to as the Thane. Thane of Cawdor and Thane of Glamis. Not yet. He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour. So Duncan had asked me to wake me up. But I think I have missed the time. Macbeth, I'll bring you to him. So Macbeth is pretending that nothing is wrong. So the theme of appearance versus reality coming in again, once again. So Macbeth says, I will go and bring Duncan to you. I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but it is one. The labor we delight in physics pain, that is the door. So Macbeth is going to go to Duncan's chamber to call him. I make so bold to call, for it's my limited service. Lennox, goes the king hence today? Will Duncan leave today? He does. He did appoint us so. Yes, he told us that he wishes to get back today. Lennox, the night has been unruly where we lay. Our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death, and prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events new hatched to the woeful time. Now, Lennox is giving the information that the previous night has been extremely unruly. Okay, that is, the weather has been extremely unruly. Chimneys were blown down, and lamentings heard in the air. There were cries heard in the air. Strange screams of death, and it seemed like the people were screaming because they were dying. And prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion and confused events. And there was so much of noise all around, it seemed like that everything is burning. Sorry. New hatch to the woeful time. The obscure bird is the owl. Okay. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverish and it did shake, and there was mild earthquake also. So you see, previous night we know what has happened. Duncan has been murdered, and nature had been at its tumultuous worst. Nature, there was so much of disturbance in nature. So, what does it replicate? What does it signify? That since king is the representative of God on earth, the murder of the king was an unnatural event, and therefore nature was giving out signal that everything is not well. All right. Macbeth. It was a rough night. Yes, yesterday night was pretty rough. What is Macbeth hinting at? That the murder he had to commit. My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it. And he says, as far as I remember, I have never seen such a rough night before. It was such a tumultuous night. And at this point of time, Macduff enters. He has come back from Duncan's room. Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart can conceive nor name thee. He's seen Duncan. Duncan has been murdered, and he's shocked. He says, neither the tongue nor can the heart tell what has happened. What's the matter? Confucian now has made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke open the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the breathing. So Duncan's body has been compared to a temple, and his life is the God which resides in the temple. So Macduff says Duncan has been murdered. What is it you say? The life? Mean you his majesty? Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Go and see yourself. Gorgon is the in goddess Medusa. In Greek mythology, a monster with snakes on her head. It is a very horrific sight. Okay. So Macduff says, yes, you go yourself and see what a terrible sight it is. Do not bid me speak, see and then speak yourselves. Do not ask me to tell it again. And exits Macbeth and Lennox, and Macduff shouts, awake, awake, ring the alarm bell, murder and treason, Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake, shake off his drowning sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death in sem. So he's calling everyone in the house up. Up, up, and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banco, as from your graves rise up and walk like spirits to countenance this horror. Malcolm, Banco, please wake up. Y'all are in deep sleep. Come up and see this horror. Bell rings, enters Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth. What's the business? She's again a great actor. What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? What is the matter that so many people are, in so much of hurry? Speak, speak. Macduff, oh gentle lady, look at the irony. Lady Macbeth is called gentle, yet she is the driving force behind the murder. Little do they know that she is the most ungentle woman. Oh, gentle lady, it's not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fail. I cannot tell you because you're too gentle as a woman. I cannot tell that a murder has been committed. Banco enters. Oh, Banco, Banco, our royal masters is murdered. Lady Macbeth. Oh, alas, what in our house? What in our house? Look at the, acting she's doing. Banco, too cruel anywhere. And Banco is abrupt in his speech. He says, yes, in your house it would be anyway cruel had it been not in your house. Dear Duff, that is Macduff, I pray thee contradict thyself and say it not so. I request you, Macduff, tell me that whatever you're telling is a lie. Enters Macbeth and Lennox. Macbeth, another great actor, he says, had I but died an hour before this chance, I have lived a blessed time, for from this instant there is nothing serious in mortality. I wish I had died earlier, because nothing moral is left, nothing human is left. All is but toys, renown and grace is dead, the wine of life is drawn, and mere the less is left with this vault to brag of. So everything is gone. Enters Malcolm and Donalbain. So you see how the theme of appearance versus reality is working. They're trying to portray they are unaware of everything, they do not know anything, yet they are the driving force behind everything. Donalbain, what is amiss? Macbeth, you are and you do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped. That is, your father has been murdered. Your royal father is murdered. Malcolm, oh, by whom? Lennox, those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and their faces were all badged with blood, so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them. And Lennox says, his guards have done it because their hands and faces were all covered with blood. and their pillows were also covered with blood. That was the plan of Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, that they will put the blame on the guards. Macbeth. Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury. Fury is anger that I did kill them. And Macbeth is immediately telling, I had to kill them because I was so angry. Macduff, wherefore did you do so? Macduff is suspicious. He asks, but why did you need to kill them? If they were caught with the murder, they should have been, given proper punishment. But why did you kill them instantly? And Macbeth has his presence of mind. He tells, who can be wise, amazed, temperate, and furious, loyal, and neutral in a moment? I have done it in the heat of the moment. The expedition of my violent love outran the pauser, the reason. I was so angry that I lost logic. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gash stabs looked like a breach in nature. So all the wounds on his body looked like blemishes on nature. There the murderers seeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain that a heart to love, and in the heart courage to make loves unknown? I loved Duncan so much that I could not bear to see such a sight, and I therefore ended up murdering them. Lady Macbeth, help me hence, ho! She is acting that her head is swinging. Okay, she's feeling unconscious and she falls on the ground. Look to the lady. Exit Lady Macbeth, help. So she's carried out. So, absolute Bollywood drama scene, or one of those Karan Johar serials that you see on stage, on your television. Malcolm, why do we hold our tongues that most claim this argument for us? Why are we keeping shut? It is our father who's been murdered, so we should be the ones who's talking the most. Donald, what should be spoken here? He's so shocked, Donovan is saying. He's so shocked that he doesn't know that what to say. Where our fate hid in an auger hole may rush and seize us, let's away, our tears are not yet brewed. Donald Ben says, let us run away. This is not the right place to stay. Because he is realizing that if their father could be murdered in this house they are not safe. Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion. Banco, look to the lady, and when we have naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. So, when everything is settled, when things become proper, Lady Macbeth is attended to, let us meet and discuss this serious matter. Fears and scruples shake us. In the great hand of God, I stand and tense against the undiverged pretense I fight of treasonous malice. We have to, you know, the malice that has been performed, we have to give it enough time to think over it. And so do I. All. Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together. Let us meet in the hall after a while. Manly readiness is clothes, because they were all in their nightgowns. All well contented, well deserved. Malcolm, what will you do? Let's not consort with them to show an unfelt sorrow is an office which false men does easy. He says, let us not go with them and waste our time, because most of them are trying to, cover up. They're trying to emote false emotions, because it is not them who are directly hurt or affected by this event. It is our father who's been killed. I will to England. I will run away to England because I'm not safe here. Donald went to Ireland, and I will escape to Ireland. A separate fortune shall keep us both the safer. If we are staying away from each other, we will remain safe, because it will not be easy to harm us if we are in two different places. Where we are, there is dagger in main smile, appearance versus reality. The nearer in blood, the nearer bloody. Remember, Lady Macbeth had said, look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent underneath it. Or false face must hide what the false heart doth know. Here also, Donald been saying, wherever we are, there is dagger in men's smile. People are smiling, yet at the best opportunity available, they will murder us. The nearer in blood, the closest is our relative, the dangerous they are. Malcolm. This murderous shaft that shot had not yet lighted, and our safest way to avoid the same. So the game of murdering which has just begun is not done yet because we are still living. So we are in grave danger. Therefore, to horse, let us get to our horses and let us not be dainty of lift taking. Let us not waste time and tell everyone, hey, I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. Let us just run away. There is warrant in that theft which steals itself when there is no mercy left. When there is no mercy left, we should leave everything and go away. And the scene ends here. So, this Porter scene, as I said, is a very important scene. You could expect a 10-mark question on the dramatic significance of the scene. Here, the murder has been revealed, and also the theme of appearance versus reality is brought out very evocatively in this particular scene. And I told you why the scene is theatrically important in 3 points. All right, so that's it for today. We'll meet soon in the next video. Till then, take very good care of your health. And also, do not forget to like and share my videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you find the videos helpful. See you in the next video. Till then, take very good care of your health and goodbye.